If you want news and rumors that appeal, welcome to the Dusty Wheel.
Hey, welcome back to the Dusty Wheel.
If you want news and rumors that appeal, welcome to the Dusty Wheel.
Hey, welcome back to the Dusty Wheel.
Hey, welcome back to the Dusty Wheel. I'm your host, the Innkeeper, and this is our live call and talk show all about the Wheel of Time. Now, tonight, we're just going to have a fun, theoretical gameplay night here at the end because the real big news is happening this Friday. Yes, this Friday we'll be back at 12:50 Eastern for what we anticipate to be a 1 p.m. Eastern drop of some news from Wheel of Time on Amazon Prime. Why do we believe that? We'll talk about that here shortly in the show, but be back here, like I said, 12:50 p.m. Eastern this Friday for what is actually the celebration of the anniversary of the publication of The Eye of the World. And so it sounds like Wheel of Time on Amazon Prime is going to release something. Like I said, we'll talk about that here shortly, but to talk about that, I have my guests here with me this evening. Let me welcome them into the show. Welcome, Todd and Brian. How you both doing tonight?
Hey.
Hey.
Doing awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome to have you here. Todd, it's been way too long, man. It feels like it. It was, I think it was before Christmas the last time we were here doing a live adaptation. So it's awesome to have you here. And I love it that, I love your inn. Your inn's looking good behind you is all I'm saying.
It's coming together. I'm trying to get the room put up, you know.
It's looking snazzy. Brian, you need to get yourself some paneling is all I'm saying.
I'll just go find a 80s station wagon, put it up behind me. Get my wood paneling in.
Oh man, someone needs to create that meme, that's for sure. Like me in an 80s station wagon, like talking to a microphone or something. Yeah. Anyways, it's awesome to have you here. If those of you that don't know, Brian and I run BARSIDE Chats. It's a podcast all about the Wheel of Time. And basically, we just have like chats for like 20 to 30 to 40. Okay, sometimes longer than 40 minutes. But they're really short chats about random Wheel of Time stuff. It's a lot of fun. And actually, Brian, you got a little new avatar drawn for you recently. Let's show that. That was pretty cool. I love this. Who was the artist for this?
The artist is one of my friends. His name's Robin Holstein. I can put out a link on Twitter if you are interested in telling him how awesome his art is or commissioning art from him. He's amazing. I've known him for probably about 10 years, and his art style is so good. He's been working on a comic, and I've seen some of the art before, and so I said, dude, I would love you to draw me in that style. And so he did, and I think it looks incredible.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's I saw it and I was like, and actually I saw the black and white version of it as he was coloring it. And it really looks awesome with all the colors. It's fantastic. So yeah, definitely post a link out there. If you're not following the BARSIDE Chats, you can get all of those links in the description of this video. Go check us out. And if you do like us, leave us a review. We like to hear from you. So, and by the way, you both are here for a pretty awesome evening because Wheel of Time on Amazon Prime gave us some information about some news they're going to be dropping here. So let's jump into that discussion. Let's show the fans, if they're unaware of it, and this is the first time you're hearing about it, we'll show you the tweets that kicked this off. I think it was just yesterday. In reply to Rebecca from Reading the Pattern, this is what Wheel of Time on Amazon Prime said in this first tweet. They said tomorrow as barren as the Aiel Waste when she asked if there was going to be any news. But they said Friday to celebrate the anniversary of the Eye of the World release. That's another story. Now, they quickly followed that up, understandably, with this second tweet. Let's read that one. They said, also, to set proper expectations, it's not a trailer or a release date, but it's something we've seen at least a few of you mention would be great to see. Looking forward to sharing with you. So that was a lot of fun. They put that out. It really, I had other plans that afternoon or that evening, and that turned into a couple of hours of talking with fellow fans about what that might be. And, of course, the Wheel of Time Amazon Prime, whoever is behind that social media account or whoever they are as a group, are doing a fantastic job. They continue to interact with fans like this one right here, this third one, in reply to Celtic Mist. They said, Taylor, you want to throw that third tweet? Celtic Mist had thrown together a list of topics that it might be and asked, it's on this list, right? Blink twice, if you know that reference from Instagram and Rafe. That was really good. And they wrote back, it's definitely the used water bottle. How did you know? which I thought was great. We all want a water bottle, let's be honest. And then Malkyr Talks asked when they could expect this to happen on Friday. He said, thank you. We love your dedication to us. What time might we be blessed? Asking for a friend that runs an inn. Now, this is where it got fun for me because they replied, let's just say that the Innkeeper knows our ways. That was a little bit of pressure because I was guessing that they were saying, when I saw this, that this is definitely going to happen at 1 p.m. Eastern because that's when they've released previous news. So I guess trust your Innkeeper at this point. 1 p.m. Eastern on Friday. And I like this last note. This just goes to show the Wheel of Time and Amazon Prime just how they've been interacting with fans. This other tweet that they replied back to our friends at Talk Around Riyadh, who said, thanks for the clarity and the anticipation and the fun. And they replied, our pleasure. We'll see if it's worthy of an episode 72 mention, which they thought was fantastic. They made a big deal about their most recent episode, or a couple of episodes ago, which was episode 69 on Twitter. And so they thought it was a lot of fun that the Amazon, whoever's behind this account, knows what episode they're on. So that's fantastic. Keep it up, please, Amazon. It's been a lot of fun to interact with social media this entire time that we've learned all about the show. So yeah, that is why we all believe that there is something coming on Friday, and it's going to happen at that time. And
it's the ways. Yeah. And like Steven just said in chat, Dusty Wheel Innkeeper, not to brag or anything.
Yes, hilarious. So before we do the following, which is I'd like to talk to fans in chat, and I'd also like to talk to you two about what we think this is actually going to be. And it'd be fun to kind of run like a little, if anyone guesses it on the nose, do a Rafe kind of thing, which is give away a big prize if anyone gets it exactly right. But before we do that, I want to reach out to chat. If you're in YouTube chat with us right now, we're going to Taylor's going to throw a little lottery in to the chat here. If you want to jump on the show right now with Todd, Brian, and I, we'll allow one of you to do so. Now, there's some rules. You have to already have Zoom and a computer to run it on, with a camera and earphones and a quiet room. We're serious about that quiet room thing. You got to be wearing clothes enough that we can show that this is a safe show for everyone. And it'd be really helpful if you were a Discord member. You need to be one of our members of Discord, which you can go do really quick. You can click the link here in the description, go join our Discord. And of course, when you're on the show, you need to follow those rules that you find on Discord. Now, if you match all of those things and you actually want to be on the show tonight and take part in kind of all the fun that we're going to do here, Taylor's going to throw a lottery in, and you can join that lottery. Like I said, Zoom, camera, earphones, quiet room for the next, 60 to 90 minutes, and be a Discord member of our Discord. And like I said, follow those rules when you join in. And we'll give you the name of the person. You'll reach out to Taylor, actually, who's running production after this, whoever wins, and you could jump in with us. Yes, Lesbian Nerdy, the Innkeeper is pretty strict, right? Yeah, I know. Rules. It's too many rules. Okay, so while Taylor gets the lottery up, if this is something that you want to do, you can join us. No one has to, of course. But we'll throw that out there. And while we do that, I kind of want to hear your theories. Maybe I'll start with you, Brian. What do you think this is that Wheel of Time on Amazon Prime is going to drop for us on Friday?
Well, they said another story, ... I think James Barstrider something about Jane Farstrider, the book of Jane Farstrider, a prop or something representing Jane Farstrider. I think that's a guess. That's my guess. I think it'd be awesome.
A prop representing Jane Farstrider. Okay.
Yeah, like the Jane Farstrider book that Rand reads in Eye of the World, maybe. I think that would be great.
Yeah, I like that a lot. What do you think, Todd? If it's not a prop that's representing Jane Farstrider, what do you think it might be?
Well, I was hoping for the waist, or maybe the Ogier, one or the other. Something to do with either one of those. I think I'd like to see the Ogier better, but yeah, that's kind of where I've been.
So you think maybe on like the practical effects, like actually showing us what one of the Ogier will look like, basically.
Yes,
kind of,
I would like. I mean, and that's just wishful thinking. I think for me, I really more think it's going to be something to do with the waist.
Okay, so you think that they were giving us a clue when they used that there wasn't going to be any news because it's barren like the IO waste. That was a clue. Yeah, that's
Yep.
By the way, the master of the deck just said in chat, I hope the Dusty Wheel wins this. Apparently, it sounds like Taylor's joined the raffle. So, but Taylor might be joining us here if he wins. That would be hilarious. Someone will have to run things from behind the scenes. Yeah, the IEL waste is a fun one. Rafe said that there's an IEL that might shock us that's going to be in season 1. So maybe showing some of the costuming around the IEL potentially, or even showing something from the IEL waste. Kind of curious for those that are watching us here in chat. Either if you're happen to be watching us on Twitter and Facebook, you can leave us notes there. We'll find your comments afterwards. But if you're here with us in chat, what is it you think we're going to see? And while I kind of look for people's responses here in chat, I saw a lot of people that I asked this question to on Instagram, got a ton of responses. A lot of people are still hoping for the Tricons, right? Like there's a lot of people hoping that we're going to see an Elaine casting here because we haven't seen any yet so far. A lot of people jokingly said Steve, but, but that would be... I think that would be an appropriate Friday piece of news. Although Steve, on the 30th anniversary of the publication of The Eye of the World, maybe not. I don't know. I still enjoy it. I'm seeing, I think I just saw the Shufa, like Maiden of the Spear, kind of buckler and spear thing. That would be pretty awesome. I think everyone would love that. And Dana is saying...
I think the Isle Waste will be a distraction. I think if you think it's going to be about the IEL, I think that's a distraction. I think it's going to be Eye of the World focused because it's the 30th anniversary of the book, and it's going to be something that's in the first book. That's what I think.
Probably right.
Yeah, it definitely could be focused around the first book, although they do mention... Well, a lot of people wonder if it's the ways they use that terminology in some of their replies. With the Eye of the World, though, it can really touch on anything. I mean, there are some... The IEL, look at... why couldn't it be something related to... Rand's birth potentially. So, you still, it still fits within the kind of that idea. Okay, Taylor, I think while we're still kind of seeing some of these ideas, I'll call these out. For those of you that are just joining us, we just put in chat just 5 minutes ago this request for if someone here in chat wants to join us. Why don't you go and go ahead and close that, Taylor? Let's pick a winner and let's see if we can't make this happen. This will be the first time we've ever done this kind of thing. I don't know. If it's successful, then we'll try it again. So Taylor will close this up. If you joined us, hopefully you you heard all of the rules, and hopefully that will be possible for you. We'll get you the Zoom link. You'll go in and actually to Discord. You'll contact Taylor, and then and maybe we'll have the winner actually post their Discord name here in chat, and that's how we'll know. So whoever wins here in chat, you're going to post your Discord name so Taylor knows who you are, and then you'll go into Discord in the live shows channel and just say, I won this, and Taylor will contact you. So go ahead, Taylor, pick us a winner. We still don't have our drum beats, but we're going to get those here soon. I promise you. Brandon S. Is that Brandon Sanderson? Did Brandon leave his live stream and jump in here with us? Brandon S. has won. Welcome, Brandon, to the show. This will be a lot of fun. Like I said, Brandon, post what your Discord name is here, and then, like I said, go to Discord and then go into the live shows channel and just say I'm here or whatever. And Taylor will contact you. He'll get you that Zoom link, and then hopefully we'll see you here shortly in the show. So. That's hilarious. Brandon S. How appropriate. That's awesome. And for those of you who don't know, Brandon moved his live streams to Wednesday. Yes, he joined us here on Watt Wednesdays. He knows how popular Watt Wednesdays are around here on YouTube. So he moved his live streams here to be here with us. And he starts at 8 p.m. Eastern. So you can always catch him for an hour before the Dusty Wheel. So yeah, congratulations, Brandon. We'll see you here shortly, hopefully. And Taylor, just let us know if you have any problems getting Brandon in, and we'll continue this conversation. For those of you that in chat, I saw this question or this idea of music. What do you think about that as dropping some of the music from the Wheel of Time show? Todd, do you like this idea that could be the thing that they're going to give us on Friday?
I'd be okay with it if it's some of the like the music, the songs that they sing. I think that would be pretty cool to maybe hear some of the songs that they sing. The only one that I can think of is Jack of the Shadows, but something like that.
Yeah.
You've also got the Tinkers in Eye of the World, and they play music and ask about the songs.
Oh,
so
yeah.
There might be something related to that. I think that's a cool, especially with the Iron to Bind and Fire to Blind and that kind of rhyme that plays up later. Having music early on, I think, would be really cool.
Yeah, I love that idea that they could tie it in with the Tinkers and give us some of the wagons potentially.
Except you cut the Tinkers out, so.
Did I cut the Tinkers out? I did. I don't remember. In our live adaptation, I did. Okay, maybe I said let's cut them out for now and let's get back to them. I don't remember anymore.
Okay.
Someday I have to go back and account for what we actually have done. We've lost track of it, I think. But yeah, I love the idea, Brian. A great idea about the music and bringing the Tinkers potentially, and I could absolutely see that work. Headski just said in chat here, the Aes Sedai ring or the Shatter Logoth dagger. So of those two, I'm kind of curious for people that are in chat right now. Thumbs up if you want the Aes Sedai ring. Thumbs down if you want the Shatter Logoth dagger. What do you think? While people are getting that question, what do you think between the two of you? Would you rather get maybe Rosamund Pike's hand with the ring or something like that? Or would you rather see, Barney Harris with the dagger? Or even, I can't remember the actor's name is playing Patton Fane right at this moment, but even him holding the dagger potentially. Which one would you prefer?
The dagger.
The dagger, okay.
Why the dagger? Why do you pick the dagger?
Because I think it's more meaningful to me than the ring. I mean, you go to Jordan Con and you see every kind of style of Aes Sedai ring that you can imagine. So I think it'd be cooler to see the dagger.
But wouldn't it be really satisfying for Rafe to come out with the official ring and then everybody else's rings are now junk?
Yeah, but that depends on whether it's for real or not.
Oh man, I'm seeing it's a mixed crowd. I don't even know. This would have to be polled because everyone, it's half and half. It seems like thumbs up, thumbs down for this. I love that people have the dagger icon and the ring icon. It's great. Johan Myers, thank you, Master of the Deck. Yeah, Johan Myers. I could totally see a Johan Myers shot with the dagger. Him. They're not. I feel like they're not going to give us a cast member. Because from what Rafe said, where he wants us to see these characters in the world when it's happening, when the show premieres. But getting a Johan Myers as Patton Fane somehow leaving, either has the dagger or is just leaving Shatter Logoth without the I would like any of those kind of things. But of course, Barney Harris with the dagger would be awesome. Warder Cloak is an interesting one too. I could see the Warder Cloak being pretty... Yeah, I could see that absolutely being the thing that they show off. That's one of the... I mean, that's such a moment for the boys when the warder shows up, and they talk about the cloak and everything. So I could absolutely see that being the case. Taylor, how does Brandon? Is he going to join us here shortly?
A few minutes.
Okay, so Brandon sounds like he's going to join us here shortly. I love it. Okay, so this is from a theory perspective. I wanted to get into that, do some of that kind of stuff about what we might see on Friday. Remember, be back here Friday at 12:50 Eastern. I'll have some guests. We'll go live, and we'll hope that whatever we get, it'll be fun to talk about, and maybe even Rafe will be answering some questions on social media like he's done this last couple times. It'd be awesome. That was so fun to cover that. Be here with us. We'll all experience it together. Now, we'll wait for Brandon to get in here. I want to jump into what we're going to be doing tonight, which is we're going to use some fun segments. I hope you'll think they're fun. This first segment we're going to do and we'll wait for Brandon to get in here. It's called Love It or Balefire It. And this is brought to you by Talking Bears. That's right, Talking Bears. If you didn't know about the Talking Bears, those are the ones that thankfully Sarah Nakamura nixed from the Wheel of Time on Amazon Prime TV show. Yes, the wolves might have become bears. So we started this little segment that we're going to do tonight called Love It or Balefire It, which is, what if Watt on Prime made this change? Would you love it or would you balefire it? So when Brandon gets in here, we'll go ahead and start that one. And then we'll also start the phone lines and we'll let you call in and be part of, this question. And then the second segment we're going to do, Brian's going to do his quote game. Yeah, that's right. Brian did not come up with a cool name. So what's the name you did come up with, Brian?
The name that I came up with is name that tune, but with quotes from people instead of music. And instead of choosing how many notes you just get the whole quote.
Exactly. So we'll come up with a better name for that in the future. But tell people how that quote game is going to work, Brian. How's the quote game going to work? Like, what are people going to have to do?
The game is going to work. What it's going to work is I'm going to read. I'm going to start the question, and then each of you are going to read a quote, and the person that's playing the game has to guess which of those was not spoken by the person that we're talking about. So Robert Jordan quotes, Brandon Sanderson quotes, etc. We're going to say a couple of quotes. Which of those was not by Robert Jordan, and the player has to guess.
I love it.
Probably not as hard as you think it's going to be.
By the way, Rob Christensen just changed the name of my first game. Instead of Love It or Balefire, it's going to be called Love It or Bearfire It. Yes. Bearfire. Love It or Bearfire. Oh my gosh. That should become a hashtag. I love it. Bearfire It. And then we're going to do a little segment called If I Told You, I'd Have to Kill You. That's going to be me actually reading some of Robert Jordan's notes to you and talking about them. I found a little segment on The Eye of the World, an expanded outline that he had done early on. Lots of different things were happening in his mind for what this was going to be. And I want to read you some of those. I thought some of them were really cool, some really interesting kind of twists and turns that he had planned. And I thought with Friday coming up, and we're doing a show tonight, it'd be fun to talk about The Eye of the World a little bit. So that is coming up. And then we'll end the night with Sword Crosses the Inn's Courtyard. Yes, that's the name of our game, brought to you by Malkir's King. And how it works is, basically, you're just going to choose if a name is an inn or a sword form. And I made it much more difficult for you because I took all of the thes out of it. That's right, there's no thes helping you out thinking that you might know what this is, and it's going to be a lot interesting to see how quickly people in chat without cheating know that answer. Okay, those are the games we're playing. I love Reader Reborn just said Steve it or leave it.
Steve it or leave
it. Okay, that's man, I don't know. Leave it or Bearfire It or Steve it or leave it. Man, these are good names. I should have gone to everybody and asked you guys to name these games and not try to do them myself. So, how's Brandon coming along there, Taylor?
Brandon has the link. So he will be
okay, so Brandon will be here really shortly. Like I said, we'll start that up. Last notes before we start. Leave it or Bearfire It or Steve it or leave it, however you want to refer to this. Last notes on this. Like I said, we'll open the call lines. We'll welcome Brandon on first, get the call lines going, and then we'll start playing the game. And hopefully, those of you that want to call and play the games with us, you can. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So, okay, let's let Brandon in. Let's bring him to the show. Welcome to our show, Todd, Brian, and Brandon S. Let's he's still Zoom's still doing its thing here. Let's give him just a second. Jason,
Brandon.
There we go. He's still waiting for him to. Yeah, I agree, Rob. I love Steve to leave it. We're still waiting for Brandon's camera to turn on here, and here he is.
Hey, everybody.
Nothing like. Hey, Brandon, welcome to the show. How you doing?
Doing just great. A little nervous to hop on, but
yeah,
was really surprised to see my name. And sorry, I'm not Brandon Sanderson, but
Brandon S is good enough for us tonight. That's fantastic.
Well, the BSs outnumber the rest of you tonight. So.
Yes, yeah.
Solidarity, fellow BSer.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. Yep. Brian and Brandon we have tonight. Todd, you're the odd man out. It's okay. So, yeah, Brandon. let's ask you a couple questions before we begin playing our first game, which is Love It or Balefire It, or as someone just termed it, Bearfire It. So before we do that, Brandon, how long have you been reading the books?
Let's see. Since I was about 14 years old, I'm 30, almost 33 years old now, which is crazy to think about. But
nice.
Huge fan of this show. Huge fan of the books. I'm ready to go. Let's do it.
Awesome. Okay. So I don't know if you heard, did you hear anything between you finding out that you had won this and got onto Zoom? And do I need to explain the games we're going to play to you really quickly again?
Maybe just a quick recap.
Okay. This first one, for those of you watching, Taylor, go ahead and open the phone lines up. We'll allow people to start calling in that want to take part in these games. Love It or Balefire It, or as we jokingly just termed it, Bearfire It. Yes, this is the game all about choosing the Watt on Prime change that you either love or you want to balefire. That is to say, what if? So these aren't necessarily changes that Watt on Prime plans to make or will make. These are just some silly things we came up with. But we are going to start with the first one, which is bears instead of wolves. And let's begin with you, Brandon. Do you love the idea of Perrin talking with bears instead of wolves, or is this an idea you'd like to balefire, like Sarah wanted to?
I remember when this topic came up on the show the other day, and just trying to wrestle myself with the idea of it, like, I think I got to balefire it. Just the wolves are too iconic. I know there's going to be a little bit of the, hey, Game of Thrones did it first, at least to like, a TV audience. But the wolves are too iconic. You got to keep the wolves. Balefire the bears.
Balefire and the bears. Okay. Todd, are you a balefire or are you a love it?
I'm an absolutely balefire it.
So we're giving you guys an easy one. We're so tied up in this idea of wolves. So Brian, are you also a balefire this?
I'm a love it. I'm a love it. Like talking animals. Like, what's better than talking animals? We love the Chronicles of Narnia because there's like talking beavers and talking lions and stuff. Like, why not talking bears? Care Bears, the best.
Care Bears.
Come on, you guys.
Oh my gosh,
talking
the
animals
Care
are
Bears.
the best. They make any show better.
The Care Bears. I totally agree with this idea of look.
Have you seen the Bear Bears on Netflix?
No. No, I haven't seen that one. The Bear Bears. I love, by the way, the icons in chat. The icons in
grizzly bear. They're best friends. They're amazing. It's a great show.
People have really awesome like icon game in the chat right now. There's like bears and fire everywhere. If you happen to be watching this from Twitter or Facebook, hopefully you've enjoyed the sneak peek into our Talking Watt live call-in talk show. If you're on Facebook or Twitter, make sure you jump over here and watch the last hour of the show. Come play some games with us. It's a lot of fun. But thank you for being with us from there. And if you happen to still be here with us, please like this video and please subscribe. If you're not subscribed, we do this weekly, sometimes twice weekly, doing our live call and talk show all the way up and through the premiere. We can't wait until that happens. So thank you for being here, and thanks for sticking around and calling in. Yes, if you want to give us a call and take part in Love It or Balefire It, give us a call now. And Taylor, do you want to throw in the call line up on the screen? It's 1-313-825-5968. That's 1-313-825-5968 if you want to play along with us. Okay, I feel like that one was easy.
Somebody in chat said Pear Bear.
Pear Bear. Pear Bear. I love it.
Poor Pear.
No.
Pear Bear. Yeah, I like it. Okay, this one. Here we go. Number 2. Love It or Balefire It. We have the Banjo of Valere. The Banjo of Valere. Let it settle. Don't just react immediately. Let this settle. The Banjo of Valere. Look, we got guitars now. We know we have guitars. So let's move from the horn to the Banjo of Valere. Okay, let's start with actually our first caller on this question. Let's bring into the show someone we all know really well. Norm, welcome to the Dusty Wheel tonight. How you doing?
Norm.
Great Innkeeper, as always. I raise my glass to you. And Brian,
cheers.
Brandon, and
Cheers.
Todd, as always, I raise my glass to you and to everyone in chat. What's up? Have a drink.
The Banjo of Valere. What do you think, Lancer? Awesome to have you here. Love it or Balefire It? The Banjo of Valere.
All right, this is all I got to say. Can you honestly picture Matt doing this? Ding, 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 ding.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden, here comes a whole bunch of guys from the hero, from the legendary heroes coming out of the smoke. Ding, 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 ding. I would die of laughter.
He's blowing a
I
horn.
think that should answer what my.
I mean, in the end of the day, you see him. He's like blowing a horn. I mean, it's how much cooler is it? He's over there like playing a banjo.
I mean, the banjo is ominous. It's ominous. Have you seen Deliverance? They're like scary people playing the banjo. The Valere is like the Horn of Valere is a scary thing. It summons people out of the ether. Come on, banjo all the way. Let's go.
Okay. Let's find out what our other panelists say here. I love Todd's. Todd, we'll go right to you on this one. Let Barney strum is your hashtag in chat.
Yes.
Leanne said, "Let Barney blow." Dang it. Yes, you're right, Leanne. You're right. This is my fun way of taking out the blowing of the Horn of Valere in the books. But anyways, so let's go to you, Todd. Do you like this or not? Is this a love it or balefire it? The Banjo of Valere.
When they steal it back from the Shanshan and he chunks it over the wall, can a banjo survive that?
Yeah. I mean, look.
It's I don't know. Is the horn power rot and is the banjo going to be?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this is a power rot banjo, so you don't have to worry about it from a damaging standpoint. So
then let Barney strum.
Let Barney strum. I like it.
It's finger picking good.
Finger picking good. Okay, Brandon, your what do you think here? We have one yay and one nay. Banjo of Valere. Is this a love it or balefire it?
So it's coming down to me, eh? Okay. Well, initially when I thought about this, I didn't like it at all. I didn't like it one bit. But when Norm came in and he gave his little explanation, and I don't know, there's the hashtag. Man, I'm just imagining like Kermit playing like Rainbow Connection and seeing a bunch of the heroes of the horn coming out to that. So I was an initial no, but I think I've been convinced. So I'm going to vote yay.
Wow. Love it. This was actually Brian threw this idea in. I didn't think he was going to get too love it for Banjo of Valere. Brian, do you want to make this? Do you want to send this out to chat? Are you going to turn down your idea, love it or balefire it? Or are you going to say yes to love it?
No, I love it.
Okay.
Love it.
We have 3 love it's for balefire. I mean, 3 love it's for the banjo. Sorry.
Is underappreciated. I'm just saying.
Sorry, Lancer, you lost out there. But thank you so much, as always, for calling in, man. Have a good evening, okay? We'll talk to you soon.
You guys take care.
Good night, man. The Banjo of Valere. I love it. We have a couple more callers coming in. We'll bring them in here for this third question. Now, this one's serious, and I want everyone... Look, the Banjo of Valere, I get it. Let Barney blow. It's been a thing. But this is a serious question for all serious fans. Love it or balefire it. Call it the slog instead of the blight. Call it the slog instead of the blight. Okay, so let's bring our next caller in and let's give him this question. Does this caller want the slog or the blight to be called the slog? Here we go. Welcome to the show, our friend, Lesbian Nerdy. How are you doing tonight, Lesbian Nerdy?
Yay.
I'm doing all right. How are you?
We're doing great, right? I love these fun nights we just get to chill out and do ridiculous stuff like this. So here we go.
Yeah, it is fun.
You have such an important question here, right? We all know it's called the blight.
I heard. Yeah.
But the slog makes a lot. I mean, it has so much meaning to all of us that we've been reading the books for so long. What do you think about that? If Wadam Prime, instead of calling it the blight, they're like, we've got to go find the horn or the eye of the world in the slog.
Okay. I want to go for it because I like what it means to the fandom. However, Slog feels like a time, and blight feels like a place. And the grammar person in me, the English teacher in me, can't do it. I can't do it.
But so look, anything that they call it, other people, I understand, but other people will be like, yeah, it's called the slog. I get it. By the way, there's not much love for the slog idea in chat here. They're like, the slog is a lie. There's no slog. Yeah, you guys haven't been around long enough to feel like there was no slog. Okay, Lesbian, I get it.
No, it's OG readers.
Yeah, you're going with the blight. You balefired this idea. Okay, Brandon,
I'm
back to you.
I'm bear firing this idea.
You're bear firing it. Smart. I love the bear. Oh my gosh, the bear fire is going to be a thing, and that's going to be forever with the Dusty Wheel. And thank you very much, Rob, so much for that. Okay, Brandon, what do you think about this? Call the blight the slog in the show.
I'm going to go no, but I want to offer an alternative name that I know the Black Tower podcast fans would probably be a fan of.
Okay.
What if instead of either one of those, you just went with the taint?
The blight is called the taint?
Could the show get away with that?
You're calling the blight the taint.
You call the entire blight the taint?
I feel like that's going to be met with just as much no's from. We'll go back to Lesbian Nerdy here. You have two options now. We can call the blight the slog or the taint. Would you pick either of those, or would you bear fire this idea?
I mean, you got to go find the eye of the world deep in the taint. No, I can't do it.
The eye and deep in the taint. That would be, yes, that's a hashtag right there. Okay, Todd, to you and Brian. Here we go. Up the Zoom call here. Todd, what do you think? Would you, if Wadam Prime came out and changed the blight to either the slog or the taint, are you a love it or a bear fire it?
I'm a bear fire it.
Okay.
The taint would be hilarious and the slog would be hilarious, but I don't think it would fit. So I don't know.
Okay, you're out. I got you. Okay. And Brian, we'll go to you. It sounds like this idea is dead, but let's see, where were you at on this?
Well, the eye of the world is basically in like a cave, which is essentially a hole in the ground. So if there's like a hole in the taint with something in it, that's interesting. But I would go with I would say that I'm going to balefire it, but I would be willing to rename the taint the slog.
Rename the taint the slog. Yeah, we do. We probably need a whole show like this.
The male
right?
half of the power has been slogged.
It's been slogged. I don't know that works. Oh man, make the blight blightful again is the hashtag from Steven in chat. I like it. Yes, this is Art agrees with you. Rename the taint the slog. Everything Kristen just said. Everything dies in the taint. Everyone's having fun with this. A lot of fun in chat. Man, it's a whole other show in chat, which I love. Aren't you excited you called in for this, Lesbian? Jenny, aren't you glad you called?
I'm so excited. You just about killed me there. Like, literally. I died choking laughing.
I love it. I love that you got to call in for this. Hey, thank you so much for calling us. And it's actually not it's early for you, right? Like, what time is it where you're at? I can't remember.
It is 11:41 a.m. So
okay, so there you go. Yeah,
in the morning here.
Yeah, it's like perfect timing as long as you don't have to work. You know, like we need to catch you again for Wednesday night when that works out in your schedule again. Have you back in. So, are you going to be there? What time is it going to be for you for Friday? Like Friday at 12:50. What is that?
I actually, when you were talking about it, I literally went to Google and looked it up. It's 2 a.m.
You got that. You got that. Yeah, that's 2 a.m. Come on. If it was 4, but you can do 2. Come on. It's painful. It is painful. Hey, Jenny.
I can try.
Thank you so much for being part of our love it or bear fire it moment today. So, hey, we'll talk to you soon, okay? Good
All
night.
Right.
or see you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
So that was too fun. Yeah, I
Supposed
agree.
to be the serious one too.
That was very serious. It was very serious until you came into the picture, Brandon.
Oh, gosh.
Brandon
Who
always.
let this guy in?
Exactly.
Someone
I
named
like-
Brandon always screws things up.
Yeah,
I know.
right.
You
Savage.
Dean said, "Brandon S is a natural. Good job so far, dude. I agree. Brandon, you're doing fantastic.
Yep.
So let's move on to our next and our last one here. This would actually be like a change to the plot. So this one, this isn't like a silly, Banjo of Valere, which though still won. The Shan-Chan attack Tyr instead of Falma.
Attack here?
Yeah, attack Tyr, not here,
Oh.
Tyr. So let's bring in our caller on the line here and ask him this question: love it or bear fire? Here we go. Let's bring Jason onto the show. Jason, welcome to the Dusty Wheel. How you doing?
Good.
Fantastic. Thank you for waiting on the line there for us. And you're jumping into, and hopefully you've been watching us and listening to us talk here. You're jumping into leave it or love it or balefire it or bear fire it, if you will. And the question on the table for you is, if Wadam Prime changed the story or the plot to be the Shan-Chan attack Tyr instead of Falma, are you a love it or balefire it?
Well, that's a really interesting thing, because then Rand taking the stone a Tyr it radically is going to change the story, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it kind of, it would radically change. Yeah, it's hard to think about all the reverberations that would occur because of it. Yeah. So, but yeah, what is it? What's your first thought? Are you don't change my plot at all, or are you like that might work for me?
I think I like it. I think I'll give it a heart.
Wow, I loved it and didn't bear fire it. So let's jump over our panelists here. Okay, Jason's a love it here. I see you deep in thought there, Brian. So we're gonna go to you on this one. I feel like you're trying to figure out if this has logical consequences that you don't like. But
No, he's not.
no, he's not. He's
Yeah,
not.
no, I wasn't-
There's
I
nothing
wasn't
going
at
on this
all.
side.
if the Shan-Chan attack Tyr, then we don't get Julian's like hamster and nuts line, or whatever that was, hamster and figs line, which was
That's what you're worried about.
great. And so we have to keep that line in there. So therefore, I'm going to balefire it. No, the Shan-Chan cannot invade Tyr. We need
Okay.
the hamsters and figs. line.
Hamster and fig, you're a balefire. This you don't like the idea of the Shan-Chan basically
gone.
going
It's gone.
south and attacking, maybe Tyr at the same time and trying to combine those plots together. You don't like that. Okay, down the line here, Todd. We have one love it, one balefire. What are you at on this one?
I'm a balefire it.
You're
Because
a purist.
Yes,
Yeah.
because I feel like they went to Falma because it was an easy place for them to land. There was not much army there for them to
Okay.
fight against.
I'm gonna throw this out there though. Falma, when does it become relevant again? Oh, okay. So, all I'm saying is, are they going to spend a lot of money on some irrelevant location that we don't care about ever again in the story? Or are they going to try to have them engage in a place where they build a set and spend money on something that might be something they could reuse?
I feel like, but I feel like Jordan he planned things like that. Tyr, I think they have a fairly decent army, and they're in a kind of a good position. Why would they attack the stone that nobody is able to get into?
Okay, put Tyr, take Tyr and change the geography and send it further west. Like they can make they could make it so it's a little bit closer on the coast there. Anyways, I'll stop trying to push that idea and go down to Brandon here. We're at a balefire and love it idea. I'm seeing lots of back and forth here in chat. With love it, but no, but it has to be the Watchers over the waves, and Falma is kind of an important piece, or they could do it. What do you think, Brandon? Are you going to kill this idea? Are you going to bear fire it out of existence?
Well, first of all, I love bear fire. Just the tagline bear fire. Every time you say it, I'm chuckling inside my head.
Bear fire.
So I think that one might stick for a little while. But you took the immediate thoughts out of my head earlier when. And you guys talked about this on a previous episode. we broke it down. You're not going to be able to have all these locations. They might even change the geography on us a little bit. So as much as I'm kind of a purist too, I understand the realities of making an adaptation for a TV show, and you're going to have to make some of these big changes if they kind of just like make sense for the story they're trying to tell. So I'm going to say that I'm for it, but logistically and how it works out, how they do it is going to be what sells me or not.
Gotcha. Yeah. So you're like, yeah, you could go to the Tanchico. People are pointing this out. It could be Tanchico instead of Tyr, potentially. Like basically like not Falma. Yeah. So it's an interesting question. Hey, Jason, question for you. Let's go down the list with you since you're our last caller for now. Bears instead of wolves. Were you a love it or bear fire it on that one?
I was a bear fire it. Yeah, I like wolves. They're cuter and more huggable.
Yeah, I like wolves. I don't know if any of them are as huggable as I would like them to be.
Maybe they're not more huggable.
How about Banjo of Valere? Were you love that one or bear fire it?
I was also a bear fire on that one too.
Okay, and
it sounds fun, but
how about the slog instead of the blight, or the taint instead of the blight? Did you like any of those, or you like, no, leave my blight alone?
I was okay with the taint. Us old-time readers, there was a slog, but people reading it nowadays, they don't have to wait for the books, and they don't have to, agonize for 2 years that I didn't get this point of view character, or, the book only covered one day, and now I got to wait 3 more years. For new readers, there's no slog, right?
I love it. Yeah, I love it. Thank you so much for playing with us, Jason. Thank you for everyone that called in for playing this segment. We called Love It or Balefire It, or as we've been referring to it, Bearfire It. That is going to live. I think you're right, Brandon. And Jason, thank you so much for calling in, man. Appreciate it. And we'll talk to you soon. Have a good evening. Yep, bye-bye. So, that was the end of that segment. Thank you, everyone. We're moving on to the second segment of the night. If you want to call in and be part of this, I love the comments in chat. It's the best. It's so good. We're moving on. Like I said, before we get to If I Told You So, if I Told You I'd Have to Kill You, that I have set up, and we're going to talk about Robert Jordan's his notes and some of the stuff from one of the original, or one of the early outlines. I don't think it's original, but we were going to go to Brian's quote game. Brian, you want to give us the name of your game again and how this is played and get us going here?
Absolutely. All right. The name of the game is Name That Tune, but with quotes from people instead of music. And instead of choosing how many notes you just get the whole quote. Who wants to play? Call in right now.
Yeah, give us a call. Give us a call.
The way this is going to work is I'm going to introduce a person, Robert Jordan, Brandon Sanderson, whoever. I'm going to, each of the panelists is going to read a quote. And then you, the caller, whoever's playing, will get to guess which one of those quotes was not said by that person. So which one was not said by Robert Jordan or not said by Brandon Sanderson.
I love it. Right. So yeah, give us a call. Taylor, you want to throw the line up again? It's 1-313-825-5968. 1-313-825-5968. Now, I haven't seen these quotes yet, Brian, because I can't see where you guys are doing this. So I don't know if you want to start off with me, just in case no one decides they want to play this game with us. So do you want to try it out with me first, and then we'll go from there?
No, we'll wait and see if somebody wants to join.
Thanks a lot, Brian.
Yeah, you're welcome. You have your quotes in your Discord chat. And
okay, I got you.
Brandon, you can see it in the Zoom chat if you haven't seen it already.
Gotcha. You sent me. Let me take a look there and find my quotes here. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
okay,
got them.
Excellent.
All right, so let's wait for someone to join.
You want to wait? You want to put it on our chat? That's right. Everyone that's watching right now, it's incumbent upon you to call us right now, or we're just gonna be quiet and silent and not do anything for the next 5 minutes. We're just gonna. It's going to be weird if you don't call us. That's right. Peer pressure. 1-313-825-5968. Give us a call. Come play Brian's really really strangely worded quote game. There we go. I couldn't get that out.
Worded?
Strangely worded.
I put a lot of thought into this name.
I know you actually did put a lot of like effort into this. So
I did.
That's right. So I like that you're putting it on them, on the callers to give us a call.
We will bear fire you if you don't call.
We will bear fire you if you don't call.
Yes.
That's right. 1-313-825-5968. Mary, I see you in chat. Get on that phone. It's time to shame people into calling. That's right.
That's right.
I love all the comments here. What's funny is chat has gone really quiet because there's a lot of people watching this right now that want somebody else to call.
Yes. Yes.
Chat's like, oh shoot.
Don't look at them. Don't look at them. They want.
I can do it. You can do it.
Okay, so I see that we're getting a couple callers in. I'm assuming they'll be screened here for us soon, but maybe I will bring the first caller in. Oh, yeah, they're going to be screened here just shortly. So we do have 2 callers so far. There we go. 3 callers. I like it. It's starting to build. Brian, how many quotes we got? I got 4 quotes?
I got 4 quotes.
4 quotes. We need 4 callers. One
four
more
people.
caller to call in, and we're going to do this. And, yep, there we go. We got our 4 callers. Thank you so much, everyone. If you want to still call in, we'll bring in for the next game, of course, if you want to wait. But thank you for those 4 callers. Our first caller on the line, let's bring him into the show. I think you peer pressured him in. Way to go, Brian. Here we go. Let's bring in to the show our friend, Rob, or Malkier Talks. Welcome to the Dusty Wheel tonight, Rob. How you doing?
Hey, how's it going? I couldn't let you guys sit there in silence staring at the screen, so I thought I'd call.
I was going to do it.
I love Brian. Brian was like, nope.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, go for it, Brian.
All right, who wants to play? Okay, so as we know, Robert Jordan had a way with words and a way of answering questions that made you feel like, well, you were listening to him answer questions. So, which of the following is not a quote from Robert Jordan? Is it A, Matt?
People are full of praise, sometimes to the extent that I wonder if it's somebody else they're talking about instead of me. It's a lot of fun. One stop right after my birthday, they're saying, happy birthday to me. I'm not sure how they learned it was my birthday, but they did.
Or is it B, Todd?
No, not at all. I'm interested in stories, all kinds of stories. Goblins and orcs, okay. Unicorns and dragons, great. But the best stories are the stories of the human condition, like Friends or Lost or what was that show with the psychiatrist? Frasier, that's the one.
Or Brandon, C.
My favorite character is always the one from whose point of view I am writing at the moment. Most people like themselves to one degree or another, and to make the character believable, I have to like him or her too. They are the star. The favorite scenes work much the same way. At least when I write a scene and it doesn't feel as if it's my favorite, I keep going back to it to see if I can fix whatever is wrong with it.
All right, Rob, which one of those did Robert Jordan not say? Was it A, B, or C?
Oh, jeez. That is tough. I mean, it's hard because Matt says so many quotes that, especially when he does a notes episode, that everything sounds like it's Robert Jordan coming from Matt's voice anyway. I don't know. Brandon's one, C, I think that sounded a bit more like actual Brandon Sanderson than Robert Jordan.
All right, that is wrong.
Wrong.
Some sound effects here. It was B. It was Todd's. No, not at all. I made that up. You're welcome. Frasier, you think Robert Jordan actually watched Frasier or Lost? Or?
Oh wait, you made that one up. That was good. That was good. I think I was convinced that was a good quote. So yeah, Rob, I understand. Well, Rob, thank you for calling in and letting Brian embarrass you. That's right.
That's okay. That's what I'm here for,
Hey, Rob, thank you so much for calling in, man. Really appreciate it. It's awesome to hear your voice. And thanks again for asking Watt on Prime what time it was going to be at. That led to an awesome answer on Twitter. So that was wonderful.
Hey, you do the best live shows, so we had to make sure we got you on at the right time. So.
Hey, I appreciate it, man. Hey, we'll see you on Friday, right? Hopefully we'll see you on your Friday.
Definitely, I'll be there.
Okay, man. Hey, we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.
Okay, we got a bunch more callers. Let's bring our next caller here. Let's bring our caller to the show. Bob, welcome to the Dusty Wheel. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Fantastic. Thank you for calling in. And Brian, take it over.
All right. Let me find my notes. Okay. As Robert Jordan was fond of saying, a strong woman is better than a strong man, or something like that. And for Jordan, the strongest woman he knew was Harriet, his wife and his editor. Which of the following is not something that Harriet has said before? Matt, A.
I was dating Harvard boys who had a lot of freedom around their majors, and I liked that. And I thought, well, that dream of being Copper Calhoun is obviously not going to work. So I might as well just settle down and major in English so I can read my way through 4 years, because after that, it'll be no rest for the wicked, and I'll have to work my fingers to the bone to support myself one way or another. So pretty much, that's what I did, and that's why I transferred.
Or is it B, Todd?
I've hidden the whips.
Or is it C, Brandon?
Okay. The day I met Jim, I realized I was in over my head. He was charming and smart as a whip. I remember he wore a coat, a brown coat with a handkerchief in the pocket. But it was the way he spoke that really entranced me that day. He told me a story about his days in the Navy. And the way he wove the words together, well, I decided right then and there that this was the storyteller I wanted in my life. And I did.
All right. Which of those do you think Harriet did not say? A, B, or C?
You think I could have B again?
B again?
I didn't quite catch that.
B again. Yeah, go ahead.
I've hidden the whips. Sorry about the accent.
I've hidden the whip.
Say.
I'm going to guess the first one. Harvard, I don't know. I think they're both from the South. So I don't know if she ever went up north. No idea. I'm guessing A.
You are wrong.
Was it
my chance of glory?
The Harvard one is real, believe it or not. That was an incredibly detailed answer that I did not expect to see. But, you know, that's Harriet. The actual answer was, it was not the whips. She actually said that one. The actual answer was Brandon C. The day I met Jim, I realized I was in my head. I wrote that down.
Man. Brian's good at this.
We're good at this.
We got to bring Brian back to.
Was he actually in the Navy, or was he in the Army?
No, he was not in the Navy.
Okay, that was throwing me off. I almost went with C because of the Navy thing.
Oh, that was close. It was so close. Hey, Bob, thank you so much for calling in, man, and for taking part in Brian's strangely worded game. Thanks, Bob.
That was very strange. Thank you.
Have a good evening. Goodbye.
Thank you.
All right.
We got two more.
Okay, let's bring our next caller in. Let's bring someone we know really well to the show. Mary, welcome to the Dusty Wheel tonight. How are you doing, Mary?
The Banjo of Valere. Oh my God, you guys!
Look, come on. Look, you didn't want to show up tonight. Just kidding.
Yeah, there you go. You missed out on the banjo conversation.
Yeah.
I missed out on. Yeah, I don't know if missed out is the right word.
Let's do this. Let's see if Mary can be the first person to guess this right. Brian's making these pretty hard. I like this.
All right. Here we go. Mary, nice to talk to you again. Brandon Sanderson never stops talking. I think he has a parrot these days. I read that his wife got him the parrot so that he could keep talking, and the parrot would just say, "Yes, dear." Which of the following is not something that Brandon Sanderson has uttered in an interview? Is it A?
I don't understand wind. The air that's in my lungs is the same air that can hold up 100 tons of steel and people and fuel at 35,000 feet. It doesn't make sense to me. I'm a fantasy author, and my job is to make up crazy things. And there's nothing crazier than air holding up metal. Trust me.
Or is it B?
Yeah, sometimes I have to specifically phrase things. I write it, and I'm like, oh, yeah, that's neat. And I'm like, oh, I probably shouldn't quote Nietzsche. So I have to reword things sometimes. You spelled that badly, Brian.
Yeah. Or is it C?
Favorite creature? Probably Choles. They just crack me up.
This is actually hard. Okay, Mary, which of those didn't Brandon say?
Is it
you got this, Mary. You got this.
Is it Matt's answer about the wind, Todd's answer about phrasing things, or Brandon's with the favorite creature?
You're wrong. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. I'm going to go with A.
A is correct. You did it. Yeah.
Oh, nice job, Mary.
You have won the game. You have
Oh
won the
my
game.
gosh. That's
my
nice
God.
job. That was harder than you thought it was
Yeah,
going to be,
no.
wasn't it?
All right,
Well,
Matt, tell her
Chef
what
cracked
she's
me
won.
up too.
Mary, you've won a return to Camelin at the Dusty Wheel as a panelist. Congratulations.
What a prize.
What a
Mug in
prize.
hand, ready to go. Awesome.
Excellent, Mary. As always, thank you for calling in, and thank you for playing the strangely worded game.
RJ or BS is what I'm calling it.
RJ or BS. I love it. I love it. That may be the name it is. Hey, thank you very much, Mary. We'll talk to you soon. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye, guys. Be good.
Okay, the last participant in this game, and then we have a couple more callers, so we'll probably have them jump into the next game with us and end with me reading out some stuff about Robert Jordan's expanded outline for the Eye of the World. So let's bring our last contestant to the show for the strangely worded game, or RJ and BS, and that would be Master of the Deck. Welcome to the Dusty Wheel.
What's up, Matt?
How you doing?
I'm doing great. Just feeding my cats because they were about to kill me.
That was so chill, and like this episode has been all over the place that I tried to come down and meet that. I tried to meet that chill that you had. So here we go, Brian.
All right.
Go for it.
None of us would be here, Master of the Deck, if it wasn't for Matt hosting the Dusty Wheel. I think you would agree. But more importantly, we would not be here if it wasn't for Taylor, the editor reborn.
That's true.
Now, which of the following is not something that Taylor said on the episode celebrating the Dusty Wheel's 10,000th subscriber? Is it A?
Which, by the way, Taylor doesn't know that he's the subject of this question right now, so it's really funny. He does not. So sorry.
Is it A, Matt?
In my first film, I tried to film a kissing scene, but my mom yelled at me, so it was a handshake instead.
Or was it B?
Taylor showed his. Okay, hang on. Taylor showed his calves and then said, "Tweet at us and tell us which calf was better."
Was it C?
I'm very excited for Perrin, even though I don't know who Perrin is.
Was it D?
Who has D? Do I have D also?
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
see
you
D.
do.
I only see A, so you'll have to read that one. You'll have to
All right.
read D. Oh, there it is. I have D. There we go. First of all, I was going through a lot. I had to get a show ready, and I had to write a bunch of stuff, and I'm sorry. Okay? I'm sorry.
Was it E?
Whatever I think, I'll just do the opposite.
Jesus Christ.
Or was it F?
Let's just do it. Let's just do a Steve episode. And I was like, really? Another one?
All right, Master of the Deck. Which one was it? Was it any of the seven?
First
that
of
we
all,
just-
I would like to file a complaint because this is not fair. But you know what?
Fair
Mary
fire.
already won, so I guess there's no glory to be had.
Seriously, this is
The one that
more
pinged
difficult
me,
question.
the one that pinged me as being off was A.
Was A.
Was A.
The one about the kissing scene?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I was really tired and I fell asleep in the middle of that episode, so I caught the beginning and the end. So,
That's okay. That's okay.
shame on me, because especially since it's now coming back to bite me. But I'm just going to say A.
You are correct. You have one.
Oh, wow. Out of 6 options. Way to go. Brian, poor writing job on that one. Nice
Well,
job,
you know what?
Master of the
Mary and
Deck.
I beat the system here, so I'm here. I'll take it.
You did. Congratulations. You also have won a return trip to Camelin as a guest at the Dusty Wheel. Congratulations, Master of the Deck.
And thank you all
your
for
win.
playing Name That Tune, but with quotes from people instead of music. And instead of choosing how many notes you get, you just get the whole quote.
Yes.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Master of the Deck.
It's been a dubious honor.
We'll talk to you soon. Good night.
Bye.
Okay, so we have 2 other callers on. We're gonna skip. If I told you, I'd have to kill you just for a second. And Taylor will help us get through this next one, and everyone can play this one. We're not excluding anyone like Brian's game did. So this is called Sword Crosses the Inn's Courtyard. Yes, this is when you get to choose if this is a sword form or this is an inn. And try not to cheat. don't go onto the internet and try to figure this out. I want to hear your genuine answers in chat. There'll be a 20-second delay. So we're bringing these callers in, and we're going to give them the first option here. For those of you that are panelists that are watching, again, try to avoid any spoilers. Let's bring our first contestant into the show and welcome Tim to the Dusty Wheel. Tim, how you doing tonight?
I'm well. How are you doing?
Fantastic. Thank you for calling in. Appreciate it. So,
thank you for hosting.
Yeah, did you hear the rules of the game? Basically, all you're going to do, we're going to read you the name. We're going to post it on the, for everyone that's watching. But we'll read out the name of this, and you just have to kind of tell us: is this a sword form or is this an inn from the Wheel of Time? So here we go. Here we go, Taylor. We'll throw the first one up. Defender of the Dragon Wall. Is that an inn or is that a sword form?
That's an inn.
I'm like, now I have to go and verify that before I. That is an inn. You are correct. Yeah, nicely done. Did you? I want to reach out to my panelists there, Brian. Did you know that immediately? Did you think that was an inn?
I was trying to figure it out. I guess it makes more sense. An inn makes more sense than a sword form, though.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So that was Brandon, did you think that was an inn? Did you know that one immediately?
Not immediately, but the sword forms just have a very specific way that they're worded, and that it just didn't fit that scheme.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I'm trying to trick people in these later ones. I did my best. Here we go. I knew that one was going to be a little bit easier than the others. So Tim, we'll have you stay on for this next one too, and then we'll give our second caller two of them, and then we'll do the last one just for our panelists here. So here's the second one. Taylor, go ahead and throw this one up. Gates of Heaven.
Gates of Heaven. Oh God, that sounds like an inn. I can't imagine. I agree with Brandon. The sword forms have a different feel to the names, and Gates of Heaven does not sound like a sword form to me.
Okay, before I tell you the answer, to you, Brandon, what do you think this is, a sword form or an inn?
See, now I feel like you're trying to trick us a little bit here.
Right?
But I'm going to go with my gut and I'm going to go with inn.
Okay, Todd, did you think it was an inn or a sword form?
Sword form.
Sword form, Brian? Inn or sword form?
My gut says it's an inn, but I don't know. Yeah.
Gates of Heaven is an inn. That is true. It is an inn. Congratulations for those of you that thought it might be an inn.
I'm curious. Todd, what does Gates of Heaven look like as a sword form?
That's where you die and stand in line.
That's where you just put your arms up.
Like a very
this is the Gates of Heaven right here. I like it. I like it. It's just two arms up. I like it. Yeah, that's the Gates of Heaven. I love that. Hey, Tim, thank you for participating in Sword. I can't remember the name of my game. What do I call it? Sword Crosses the Inn's Courtyard. These are. They're a little bit more difficult than I thought they might be for me, but I think others know the inns and the sword forms better. So, hey, Tim, thank you so much for waiting and for participating. Before you go, I do want to ask you, back to our love it or balefire it moments. Were there any of those where you decided that you'd love them if you heard any of those? The bears instead of wolves, Banjo of Valere, the slog instead of the blight, or the Shanchan attack Tenchiko or Tyr?
So the one that I had the most feeling around was the Falm or Tyr. I felt like it should be either Tenchiko or Evo Dar if they were going to get rid of Falm, because it doesn't make sense to put Falm with Tyr. But yeah, and definitely, I love banjos, but. The horn. There's the horn.
I love banjos.
You can't blow a banjo.
I got it. I hear you. I hear you. We just had fun. Brian literally said the Banjo of Valere, and I was like, "That's absurd enough, but it works." I love it. Hey, Tim, have a good evening. I hope you've enjoyed the show, and I hope we'll see you back here. Okay.
Always. Have a good night.
Guys. Yeah, you too. Bye. Okay, let's bring our last caller into the show to play these next two rounds of Sword Crosses the Inn's Courtyard. Let's bring Killian into the show. Killian, welcome to the Dusty Wheel. How you doing tonight?
Hey, I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Fantastic. Oh man, this is I didn't know how the show was going to turn out, honestly. And so it's been a blast so far. I've loved it. So thank you very much for being our last caller of the night. And I don't know how well you know the names of the inns or the sword forms in the Wheel of Time, but I'm gonna give you one here, or you're actually gonna get two, and let's see how you do. So the next one I have here, Taylor, can you do number? That one's fine. Yep. River of Light. Is that a sword form or is that an inn?
Light.
Yep.
So I'm thinking it's an inn. Let's go with inn.
You're going for inn? Okay, what do you think, panelists?
Yeah.
River of Light. Brian, River of Light. Is that an inn or is that a sword form?
We're not going to do 3 inns in a row. I'm going to go with a sword form.
Okay. What do you think, Todd? Sword form or inn?
Oh, God. Sword form.
Okay, Brandon?
Sword form.
Sword form. It is a sword form. River of Light is a sword form. That is sorry about that, Killian. It was a sword form. Nice guessing on the others. And the next one then, and maybe we'll just let you, since you're here, last caller, we'll let you stay around for the last three. Let's go for this next one here. 12 Salt Wells. Is that an inn or a sword form?
I'm going to stick with inn again.
You're going for inn. 12 Salt Wells.
Yeah.
Is that an inn or a sword form, Brandon?
Come again?
12 Salt Wells. Inn or sword form?
Oh, man. This one's tough. I'm going to say sword form.
Okay, Todd, sword form or inn?
I'm going with inn.
And Brian, sword form or inn?
It sounds like something you would do with a steak, so I'm going to go with an inn.
12 Salt Wells is an inn. That is correct. I love chat starts like filling in what it is. So I see Todd and Brian staring at that chat. I see it happening. So let's do our last one with you, Killian, on the line here. Our fifth swords crosses the inn's courtyard option for you here. Taylor, throw it up on the screen. The Tower of Mourning. Is that a sword form or is that an inn?
Go with sword form.
Sword form. Tower of Mourning. What do you think, Todd? Tower of Mourning. Is that a sword form or an inn?
Sword form.
Brian?
I'm not looking.
It's a sword form. Yeah, definitely.
And Brandon?
I don't know if I want to stay at this inn, so I'll go sword form.
I like it. Somebody said, Hedsky said, 4-4, trust Matt to put 3 inns in. I love it. Yes, Tower of Mourning was a sword form. Thank you all for playing. Sword crosses the inn's courtyard. That was it's a harder one to find than you think, to try to find ones that don't, or that might sound like an inn or might sound like a sword form. So, I hope you enjoyed that. Killian, thank you very much for playing that game with us. And before we let you go, I've asked everyone that's kind of called here at the very end that didn't get a chance to kind of be on with us for very long. What did you think? Did you hear us play Love It or Balefire It earlier on today?
I did,
Okay.
and let Barney blow.
Killian's a let Barney blow. I'm not going to be able to convince him of Banjo of
Barney
Valere
no blow.
then.
Barney no blow.
I like the hashtag Barney no Banjo. Come on, that's a great hashtag.
Barney no banjo.
Okay, how about
Fair,
how about the Shanchan attack Ebudar or Tanchico or somewhere else other than Falma? Do you like, if Wadam Prime made that change, would you love that or Balefire it?
I think plotline you could probably make here work, but the problem is the geography doesn't work out. But other than that, I think change in Falma would probably be the best way to go about it, out of the 3 options given at the beginning.
Yeah, bears instead of wolves. I'll be honest. Thank you very much, Sarah, for helping us out there. Thanks to Sarah Nakamura for saving the wolves. We appreciate you. And Killian, thank you very much for joining us for these games this evening. This was a lot of fun. Thank you to all who have called us in. And Killian, we'll have a good evening, okay? We'll see you around the end.
Yeah, you too.
Good night. Okay, that was fun. That was fun. Brandon, I hope you had fun with that. This last part of the evening, like I said, I'm going to going to read this off what I have in front of me. This is the part of the evening I called "If I Told You I'd Have to Kill You." That's the name of this. It's not a game or it's more of a segment. And basically, Robert Jordan's notes in one of the files. It's book 1 outline expanded. You can look these up if you ever visit the special collections at the. Oh man, I'll put the link of where these are at. We've done these in the RJ Notes episodes before. I realized that sometimes I read through these things, and I really love this little things I see, and I want to share them. I don't have a great place to share it other than here, right? This is a fun time. So I thought in an episode like this that isn't an RJ Notes, especially with the Eye of the World, obviously the anniversary of the publication being on Friday, I thought it'd be fun to kind of look through what is this expanded outline of book 1, clearly well before what we get in the Eye of the World, and just talk through some of the things that Robert Jordan was planning on doing, maybe even read you a couple sections. I don't have any fun quotes that Taylor can throw up on the screen for you, so you just have to bear with me here. For the purposes of this, Egwene, it's spelled E-G-U-E-N-E, it's obviously Egwene, and Elyn, E-L-Y-N, is clearly meant to be Elaine. And then Ellen or Elaine's brother, Jared, I believe in this case, was supposed to be Gawain, but that isn't the part that I really wanted to focus too much on. But just when we bring up these names, know that they relate to those people. Some of the things I thought was really interesting about this outline is the way the book ends. So I wanted to read a section of how the Eye of the World ends as compared to how Robert Jordan was kind of planning some of the ending here. So one second. Let me find the exact spot that I'd like to read you here. So he had down here. This is after they've gone to the Eye, and the Eye is in the Blight. But it seems like from when you read this that it's more of like a fixed location. It's not so kind of like no one can find it. Everyone knew that it was in the Blight, and They run into the Green Man, and that portion takes place. The Green Man actually, I think from what I read here, takes out both the Forsaken, just as 2 Forsaken. It says, to Rand's horror, the Forsaken, ignoring the other humans, turned their attention to him. On the point of death, Rand finds himself in contact with the Eye of the World, drawing on it in some way he does not understand. The 2 Forsaken are destroyed utterly, but Rand, swollen with the power, does not stop. He attacks armies of Trollocs all across the Northern Blight, some already in combat with human enemies, blasting and harrying the creatures of the Dark One. The forces of Shatan, torn apart, flee before the destruction Rand rains on them as he chases them back into their own lands north of the Blight. He rips apart the web of power the Forsaken have created to cause the drought and other troubles in the world. Suddenly, Rand discovers himself touching an evil so great that the power he has drawn on seems like a child's toy. He has touched Shatan, and not only is the Dark One is aware of Rand, he is amused at the presumption of this mortal. So this is the latest of the false dragons, Shatan smirks, the one of the Aes Sedai think to use to oppose the Lord of the Grave. Shatan tells Rand to do as the Aes Sedai command him if he wishes, for whatever he does will only serve Shatan's cause. Then Shatan severs Rand's contact with the power, and Rand falls unconscious in the Valley of the Eye. When he regains consciousness, Rand finds the rest of the party licking its wounds, while Rain, who bore the brunt of the first attack, is still weak, though Ellen and Egwene are awake and caring for her. Nynaeve, spelled N-Y-N-E-V-E, prepares her herbs to care for Lan and the others, who are somewhat the worse for wear, but not in danger. They seem uneasy about him, though, uneasy about the dragon. The Eye of the World is gone, the power drained away by Rand's wielding. With Shatan's words that he is the only another false dragon being used by the Aes Sedai still loud in his ears, Rand makes plans to leave. Egwene will not go with him, saying she must continue her training, but to his surprise, Ellen follows him, and together they flee, intending to seek a place where they can hide from both Shatan and the Aes Sedai. But within Rand there is yet a canker of fear, that now that he has used the power, he is already fated to madness and death. He vows he will never try to wield power again. While Rain, waking to find Rand and Ellen gone, is neither surprised nor perturbed. She says that even now Rand rides to fulfill the prophecies that will mark him for what he is. The dragon has been reborn. So that's kind of how, when you think about that ending sequence goes, obviously you can see that there's things that are very similar, right, to what we get in the books. And Bearzerger asked, is Ellen Min? No, Ellen is Elaine. And so in the way that Robert Jordan had it in this outline was Elaine was going to be with them, and that Rand and Elaine were actually going to leave, right? Like you almost see that really that happens, I would say, more towards the, at the end of the Great Hunt or the beginning of the Dragon Reborn. This feels kind of like that event a bit, where Rand is like, no, and he leaves, but in this case he leaves with Elaine. And Moiraine is like, and the dragon has been reborn, which is much more kind of akin to what you see happen at the end of the Great Hunt. And what I thought was really interesting is that what you also see here is Rand touches the Dark One here, and it kind of, I need to go back and read the end of the Eye of the World as it is now, but this felt a lot almost like the end. And for those that are watching, maybe before I say this, I'll throw this up. Taylor, can you put a spoiler banner? This will spoil things to the end of the book. So if you've watched this episode up until now, you've had a lot of fun, and you haven't read all the books, like mute this or go away, walk away at this point. We've loved having you. Like the video, and we'll see you next week. But that being said, for those of you that are still around, I liked how it said he touched Shatan and felt like he was like so small in comparison to what he was touching. And that really kind of called out like what almost Rand's experience at the end of the Eye of A Memory of Light, of this thing that he touches. And I like how it was interesting that you have basically Rand getting cut off from the One Power. Like there's not like this battle sequence with, Balsamon and swords and such. You just have him get cut off. Like you're just this little nothing. And he gets sent back basically outside of, in this case, this pattern level event or Teleron-Riad. So, anything stand out to the three of you that you thought was interesting of the part that I just read there?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Oh, sure. What's interesting to me was like the dialogue, right? Like the Dark One getting a little bit more dialogue in, and obviously Jordan decided to kind of dial that back a bit when the final book came out. So I thought that was the one thing that stood out to me.
Yeah. There's he does a little bit higher up there. He still has the concept of Shatan really being, or Balsamon, which is really a Shamael, but he has him almost kind of merged in the sense of like touching the Dark One as like he's touching, but it's really a Shamael there. So he still has that kind of concept, but it is this dialogue about, there's more of a dialogue about like Rand against the Dark One versus Rand against the Forsaken, which I think is really interesting, even though Rand does believe that Balsamon is the Dark One, in that case. Brian, what were you going to say?
Yeah, I was going to say, I think the two things that jumped out at me was, well, a couple of them. One of them was Elaine is with them, which she's obviously not in the first book.
Yeah.
That was an interesting thing. I wonder how she got there. Another thing was, I think what you read showed the Forsaken that were there just being utterly destroyed. It wasn't really like a battle or a fight. It was just kind of like he drained the eye and they exploded. I thought that was interesting. And then the third was the Dark One is actually, he seemed kind of seemed very angry. He seemed very like, who are you to be here? Like, you're a false dragon. Like the Dark One's idea, like the Dark One should know, right? And then later in the books and the rest of the books, you don't really get the impression that he's a particularly angry being, right? Like he doesn't. I mean, sometimes he does, I guess, but it was more emotion in that one little thing than you really generally see him elsewhere. So I thought those three things were interesting.
Yeah, one thing that I thought was really cool was that Jordan explained that Rand like breaks the web that's been causing the drought that the Forsaken had created. What an interesting concept that doesn't really end up back in the books. But Jordan does this a lot with some of his outlines where he lays out his rationale for the idea. But then in the book, it's stripped back and the idea just exists. And so I think that's a really good thing for any author out there, right? Don't give the rationale, like write the rationale. But he definitely iterated on that. And you kind of wondered what was happening. In this case, Rand is aware of somehow the web of the Forsaken and the Forsaken are responsible for it in this outline for what's happening. And that really ends up changing. I mean, Robert Jordan changes how that kind of, how he handles that part. I didn't, Todd, did you have anything that stood out to you from that you wanted to bring up?
You brought it up with the webs. We wouldn't have been able to listen to you talk about chords for 10 years.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Okay, so there are some like darker sections to this, and we'll keep on doing these little kind of snippets, but there is this whole section about Egwene being caught and injured, and Rand that night like sleeps next to her, and it says. So I'll read you the section. Like, so she's been injured, and I think it's up near the eye or on the way to the eye. And it says, that night, after everyone else is asleep, Rand falls asleep holding Egwene's hand. He dreams or thinks he does. He's in a torrid dream in a nightmare landscape involving 3 Egwenes and many horrible creatures, Trollocs and worse. In the dream, he manages to defeat the creatures, and the 3 Egwenes become one. He is awakened by Egwene, returned to normal. Egwene remembers the dream, in quotes, every bit as well as Rand. After questioning, Moiraine pronounces Egwene completely healed, and the Green Man says that during the night the eye glowed, lighting the cavern as if it were a sun. Moiraine then tells Rand that he cured Egwene, which could only be done with the use of the power by someone who is very powerful, more powerful than any living Aes Sedai. He is the Dragon Reborn. The village folk react in various ways, but Rand can feel many of them drawing away from him. He denies it angrily and with no little fear, but Moiraine presses on. So, again, kind of an interesting, like he saves some of these things that happen much earlier in the story for this moment at the very end, Moiraine kind of details him being the Dragon Reborn, because he can touch the pool, basically, of Saidin, and that he heals Egwene, and that's only possible if... It must have been Rand, because he was holding Egwene's hand and they both had a dream, So it's like, and like his dream involved 3 Egwenes and they became one. And you can tell there's just some really early ideas here of things that he does differently and in different ways. But yeah, I thought that one was really interesting. And I saw someone ask about Elaine, maybe Brian, you brought this up. How did Elaine get up there? They still have this whole section. I think in this one, they visit Tar Valon. I think is this outline expanded version. They visit Tar Valon, and Rand discovers the library at Tar Valon, one of the few left in the known world and by far the largest, with a question mark, like he's asking himself if this is what he wants to keep. The only trouble is that not only can he not read, he does not even know what a book is. Question mark again, kind of wondering if that's what he wants to do. He meets Ellen, in this case Elaine, a young woman of about his own age who has almost completed her training in the use of the power. She is scornful of his ignorance and begins to teach him to read, using the sorts of books that her brother likes to read, stories of wars and adventures. So there's this whole idea that they were going to go to Tar Valon. He was going to meet Elaine, but Elaine was going to already almost be done with her training. So there wasn't this kind of like convergence of Elaine and Egwene meeting in that way. And this idea that Rand was going to he wasn't know how to read, and she was going to like teach him that, and she was kind of thought he was pretty ignorant at first.
Was Tar Valon in there spelled the same way?
Yes.
So he had that
same. So yeah, he had Tar Valon definitely there. Morghese was definitely spelled the same way. Like Egwene and Ellen, and obviously in this case here, I'll read you a little bit further. Egwene is fully involved in her training to the exclusion of all else, including Rand. He finds himself more and more in Ellen's company, and increasingly unsure of his feelings toward her and hers towards him. When Moiraine discovers them together, the Aes Sedai is at first furious that Ellen is doing this instead of the training she is supposed to be at, but then agrees that the lesson should continue. Rand's gladness over this is short-lived, though, for when Ellen's brother Jared arrives, he learns that Ellen and Jared are the daughter and son of the queen of his own land. Ellen is not to be an Aes Sedai, but rather to ascend to the throne of her mother. Her true identity is kept secret while she is in Tar Valon, because many people would not accept an Aes Sedai as a ruler, while her brother, after custom, is being trained to be the general of the land's army when his sister takes the throne. Despite this, however, Ellen insists on continuing the friendship, and Jared and Rand find they like each other as well. So some changes. There were some changes.
Yeah.
But again, you can just see little pieces of this. Obviously he had Elaine training. He clearly had this idea of Elaine and Rand having some relationship and somehow getting between Rand's feelings for Egwene, and that there was some notion of both of them training together, and Rand at some level having a relationship with Jared or Gawain at this point. Just a really this expanded outline is like 16. Well, let me see how many pages. It's 17 pages, and it starts, of course, with them, right at the beginning. I'll give you the first paragraph of this.
Wait. Did you see
go for
the
it.
chat where Bailey John said he went to Jared?
He went to Jared.
Can we just call Gawain Jared from now on?
Yes, exactly. Gawain is Jared.
John got the wrong tattoo.
I mean, you could think that Galad and Gawain became two. I can't remember.
You need to get that Jared tattoo now.
Exactly. So I don't know if those of you in chat are enjoying this. Or I don't know if people stuck around or left or whatever. But yeah, this is like a quite interesting look at the outline that he had. I don't know what the date is on this outline. I see the word 3rd on it. But I'll read you this first paragraph, and then we'll close out for the night. This first paragraph of the outline begins like this. And again, The Eye of the World, just remember it's this publication's anniversary is this Monday. And just think back to all the times you read this. But this is an early outline, and the first paragraph begins, Rand al'Thor is, he believes, the son of the widowed farmer and shepherder Tam al'Thor, with whom he lives outside a small village, Edmund's Field, isolated from the world, as are the neighboring villages. The village is preparing for spring festival. Everyone is sure it will be a grand festival this year, for both a gleeman and a peddler in the village. The tales and the news of the outside world, the two men are greeted with equal delight, for even the news that a man, a power wielder, claiming to be the Dragonborn, is fighting battles far to the north and west, has no more real connection to Edmund's Field than one of the Gleeman stories of the Green Man, or of Len, who flew to the moon on the back of a fiery eagle. So this is definitely, he had iterated over the beginning of the story a couple times, so this is definitely into him really kind of cementing this idea that you just heard, because that is not the idea as it begins, but this is further down. And so you can tell some of the initial facts are very cemented, and some of the later ideas in this outline are kind of not so much. So hopefully all of you enjoyed that. Again, be back here on Friday. We're gonna have a fun time just covering the news live, 12:50 Eastern. I'll have some guests. We'll chat about this. Hopefully, Rafe will be answering some questions or whatever it is. We'll cover it live. Be back here at the Dusty Wheel. And thank you very much, Brandon. You made this a complete success. We have to have Brandon Sanderson back with us. Brandon S. back with us again sometime, and we'll reach out to chat again, and we'll do this very thing. We'll lottery somebody coming in as a panelist. This was a blast. And Brian, thank you so much for being here, man. Your quote game was like one of everyone's favorites. I saw in chat. They're like, we have to do this again. So we're doing this. We're coming back, and we're having this game again. And Todd, as always, awesome to see you, man. We'll be doing a live adaptation again here shortly. Have you and Mary and Natalia back with us too. So thank you, everybody in chat that was with us. Please like this video on the way out. If you're new to this and you enjoyed this kind of content, live, weekly, call-in, talk show that we do about the Wheel of Time, please subscribe. We'd love to have you here with us. And I think that's it. We'll see you on Friday. And as we say around here, good night from the Dusty Wheel and smash to black.
If you want news and rumors that appeal, welcome to the Dusty Wheel.
Hey, welcome back to the Dusty Wheel.
If